with this second trimester, I am still emotional, but I felt more like the mood swings kind of took over. Hunger all the time. Now, food just tastes like really good in second trimester because once that nausea wears off, you're like, okay, it's time to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't experienced any real cravings. I would say I've always had a sweet tooth, and that's just kind of there.
Hello, I'm Tijani Musa.
And I'm Yasmin Musa, and this is how we're doing it.
Welcome to How We're Doing It, a podcast where two first-generation immigrants authentically share their American experiences with fun and education. Suppose you're new here, welcome and thanks for joining us. If you've been with us since day one, you are our A1 and we appreciate you. Visit howwe'redoingit.com to learn more. The details will be in the show notes. So Yasmin, what are we talking about today?
Today's episode is focused on our second trimester updates, how it went, and all the fun stuff.
Yes, second trimester update. Just so if you haven't gotten the chance to listen to the first trimester update, we have that on the website, and then you can also find it anywhere you have you listen to your podcast. You can find it on Apple, you can find it on Spotify, and other platforms as well. So that said, today we're discussing the second trimester update. So, what are you thinking about today?
So just to clarify, for those that may not know, second trimester is considered from weeks 12/14, depending on who you talk to, up until weeks 28 of pregnancy. And second trimester is kind of known as like the honeymoon trimester of pregnancy because nausea is supposed to be gone. Like some of those yucky feelings from first trimester are mostly gone. You're not super pregnant yet where it's like uncomfortable. That kicks in more in like the third trimester. Your bump is showing. So it's supposed to be like the sweet of all three trimesters. I don't know that I agree.
The way I remember the second trimester, at least for Jasmine's time, you mentioned to me that the second trimester is when you feel a lot more beautiful in terms of the journey of the pregnancy, and you feel more. I forget what the term that you use. I forget the term. Glowing. Glowing is the term that you use. You feel like you're glowing more in the second trimester. Is that the case for this pregnancy?
No, I have on my notes. I was like, I don't feel pretty. I mean, there's a lot of feelings and emotions that you go through during pregnancy, but I mean, particularly for this one, like I don't know. It's hard to take photos and I think like with Jasmine, I was doing more bump like photos, just making sure I took like a weekly one. And with this pregnancy, I have not been doing the same. I don't feel pretty. I don't know what it is. I feel uncomfortable. Even when I dress nice, I don't feel like I look nice, you know? And if I do my makeup, like I'm trying to get out of the whole, like I put makeup on to look pretty thing. If I put on makeup to feel confident, even then I'm just like,
Wow.
I'll take a picture, but then I don't end up doing it. So it's definitely not been the same as with Jasmine. And I think as we've mentioned before, like every pregnancy is going to be different, even from like woman to woman, right? Like from one person to another, pregnancy is going to be different, but from one baby to another, it's also going to be different.
Yeah, that reminded me actually. One of the myth that we've talked about before in another episode is I remember we were talking about, I don't know where it came from, but I remember you had mentioned to me that if you're pregnant with a girl, the girl is more likely to take your beauty or something like that. And then the opposite is if you're pregnant with a boy, you were supposed to feel more beautiful or more glowing.
Well, that's just, I don't think that's a myth. I would say it's more like a old wives' tale.
Okay.
Like my mom would share with me and my sister that when she was pregnant, because we were both girls, she felt and looked awful both times. Would get super, super thin, and it would just, she'd be like a little snake who ate an egg from how thin she would be. And I don't know, with Jasmine, I feel pretty, I feel confident. Very different emotions than I feel now. I don't feel the same way. And it's a boy. Maybe, like one big thing that happened this pregnancy is I had nausea until week 18, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody feels pretty nauseous. Like nobody's going to feel pretty when you're like dry heaving and gagging all the time, So glowing? No, I'm sweaty. Like I feel gross. And then I think another big thing right now is like we're in the middle of like our Texas like summer. That was most of my second trimester. Now going into the third, it's just like this Texas heat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my first summer as a hijabi. I just started wearing hijab, for those that may not know. And I'm also pregnant, and it's hot. Like Texas is hot during the summer. And so I think all of those things combined, I feel gross. I feel sweaty. I don't feel as confident. I don't feel as pretty. And therefore, I haven't been taking as many pictures.
In addition to wearing hijab, also it being hot, you also working full time. And most of the time you spend time in the car from one school to the next in the heat. And
No, that's not true. I mean,
okay.
not during second trimester. During second trimester, actually, I do know that all of June and July, I was actually home, because I had summer off. So, I mean, that was just, for me, it meant I was indoors in the AC, really avoiding the heat as much as possible. If I went out, it would be like really early, or as like the sun is going down and the heat is going away.
Okay. Thank you for correcting that and making that clear. That sounds good. Based on the things that you experienced, more specifically, the second trimester, what is one of the most important thing that you remember?
I'm just gonna go through some of the symptoms.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of mood swings. I felt less emotional. Like I felt really emotional first trimester. With this second trimester, I am still emotional, but I felt more like the mood swings kind of took over. Hunger all the time. Now, food just tastes like really good in second trimester, because once that nausea wears off, you're like, okay, it's time to eat. I haven't experienced any real cravings. I would say I've always had a sweet tooth, and that's just kind of there. It's not like it's more or less. With Jasmine, I remember having more salty cravings. With this pregnancy, it's been a lot more just like my regular sweet, sweet cravings. A lot of exhaustion. I'm tired, and it worked out really well that I was on summer break all of June and July, because my 2.5, almost 3-year-old is still napping during the day. And so when she would nap, I would nap. And we got to a point now, she's getting closer to 3. And sometimes she doesn't nap. And those days, were a little bit harder. Sometimes we were out. There wasn't, it wasn't her regular routine. So, some days it didn't happen. But when it did, if Jasmine was napping, Yasmin was also napping. And it was lovely. My bump has grown. Like I mentioned, in second trimester, that's when your bump really starts to show, which is great, because people are actually, like the people that don't know and are too shy to ask you, they can actually tell now, like, okay, she's pregnant. Because of the bump growth, I did start wearing my pregnancy support belt a lot earlier with this pregnancy, but it also happened because I have a lot of hip pain, and then it's pain that actually radiates like down to like my butt. And from what I've read, it's like pain from my sciatic nerve. I brought it up to my doctor. She said, painkillers if I need them, but I try to avoid that during pregnancy unless I absolutely need it. Heat, exercising, doing stuff like on the bouncy ball, like stretches, that kind of stuff should help. It hasn't gone away. Honestly, I've just been dealing with it. Some days are better than others. On days that I'm more active, I do find that towards, end of the day, like it hurts. Sometimes it hurts, like, just getting from like the bed to the bathroom at night. So I just, rest as needed. One huge thing that's happened is the baby is a lot more active. I do have interior placenta, which just means that my placenta is at the front of my stomach. So when the baby was smaller, it was harder to feel those movements. I really had to like lay down, drink some cold water, or eat something sweet for me to feel the movement. But now that he's older, I mean, he's like super active and I can just feel him.
It's more pronounced
all the time. Yeah, his movements are a lot more pronounced.
Okay.
I can tell he's like getting bigger, stronger. I would say the most challenging part is being pregnant and then having to run around after a toddler. So as a teacher, I did have my summer off, and I love having summers off. During that time, I choose to be a stay-at-home mom and just watch my daughter. It's like a good little balance for me of, spending enough time with her, but then also having, my time when I'm at work and during the school year just focused on something else other than being mom. It's good for my mental health. And I will say this summer was rough just because she's heavy. And having to lift her from the floor even to like the toilet, because she's fully potty trained, and we use the big toilet so I don't have to clean up the little one, because the little one would make me nauseous if I had to clean any of the pee or poo. And so therefore we avoided the little one. We were just going straight in the big potty, the big girl potty with an insert. But the lifting, oh my God, she is heavy and she has so much energy. She wants to play and run around. And when she's sleeping, nice little break. But when she's not, she wants to do all the things. And, we try to limit screen time. We try to say, okay, if we really need it, by all means. And there were days where I had to give in and be like, okay, one more. 10 more minutes, whatever. Just because it's hard running after her. I've heard from other moms that it's easier once you have the baby to have a toddler to care for and a newborn, that it's easier than being pregnant and having to take care of a toddler, just because during pregnancy you're so tired. And I mean, it's like, it's hard to like catch your breath. It's hard to really feel comfortable like running around. Like I can't bend over as easily. I did it one time during second trimester. I bent over to pick up a toy she dropped, and I hurt my stomach, and then I was really worried that the baby wasn't okay. So I just try to avoid, bending down. I don't lift her up anymore. I probably stopped that. Well, that's a lie. I still do it when she needs to go potty, but I don't carry her anymore. Like I used to. I stopped that probably like halfway through second trimester, just because, like I said, she's heavy and she is a lot more independent now, so I can rely on her getting herself on the high chair, which now is just like a booster seat on our dining chair. I can, rely on her getting on the couch, going up and down the stairs. So if there's no need for me to carry her, I will avoid carrying her. Let's see what else. Oh, a fun thing that happens during second trimester. So the anatomy scan. Ours was mid-May when I was 19 weeks. 19 weeks in like a couple of days. And we were able to confirm the gender, that we're having a boy. And we also confirmed the baby looks healthy. Everything looks, great on the baby. At the time, at 19 weeks, he was about 9 ounces. So less than a pound. And it was just good to get that clarification, that
and reassurance,
the reassurance that everything's healthy, but then also the confirmation that it's a boy. Because we had our gender reveal a couple weeks before that, and part of me still did not believe it. I was like, no, what do you mean? I was like, I'm a girl mom. Tijani's a girl dad. Right. Are we sure it's a boy? But we confirmed it at the anatomy scan. It's a boy.
Yes. Let's go.
I don't know if we spoke about our gender reveal too much before, but we did get to do one just for our family and friends. Not too many people. We did, include some people that are not local. We included them on via like FaceTime, and we did those like poppers with the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
So, all the blue smoke and confetti came out to find out what the baby was. We also had Ramadan and Eid during second trimester. I went from first to second trimester during Ramadan, and then around Eid time, I was already in second trimester. And so therefore I wasn't fasting. It was hard, to feel connected during Ramadan because I'm not fasting. And actually in our religion, in Islam, women that are fasting or breastfeeding do not have to fast because you are caring for your child.
Women that are pregnant or breastfeeding.
What did I say?
Women that are fasting or breastfeeding.
Oh my God, no. Women that are pregnant or breastfeeding do not need to fast during Ramadan, and you can make those days up in the future. But, for me, because of the nausea and then just transitioning from first to second trimester, we decided I just wasn't going to fast this year. And you were fasting for the whole family.
Yes.
Jasmine and I were still eating our regular meals. And, it went.
Yes, it did.
We took advantage around Eid time. We like to send out Eid cards to our family and friends. And that's how we announced our pregnancy. It was just, like baby Musa number 2 coming soon. We had a little sign when we did our photo shoot for our cards. And just included that in there. And that's how we let people know the baby's coming. During second trimester, we also celebrated our 5-year wedding anniversary, which we talked about in another podcast episode. I was craving Korean bulgogi. And for dessert, we had, what was it, melting pot? Yeah, melting pot. Just chocolate fondue. Look, if you've never been, you need to go and try the chocolate fondue.
Usually, yearly, we would go to a melting pot to celebrate our anniversary. But this year, Yasmin decides to change it up to Korean bulgogi because that's what she was craving. And so we went to Korean bulgogi. Little did I know that we were still going to end up in melting pot, but in this instance, we went there for dessert. But we still ended up at melting pot and got that whole shenanigan of getting the fondue that she's mentioning.
The chocolate fondue.
Yes.
I can go back for some chocolate. See what I mean? It's like, it's sweet tooth. It's sweet. It's not the salty. What else? Oh, we took towards the end of second trimester, we took like our family vacation, which we kept local this time just because, I'm very pregnant. There's a lot of transition going on right now in our home, so we decided to keep it local. We took the kids to Great Wolf Lodge with my sister, and just enjoyed some indoor water park, and then we did a little bit of outdoor too. But luckily we had the option of going indoors because we picked some hot days to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
That reminded me, actually. Somebody was asking us, or they asked me, they said if we were planning to do a baby moon this year. And I said, we didn't plan for a baby moon this year because traveling is kind of different now.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we talked about it. Ideally, I would have liked it to just be me and you. But then I would feel really bad leaving Jasmine. So then it would be like a family vacation. And then so my sister is in the middle of transitioning from El Paso to Hawaii. And Leo's with her and they're staying with us for the summer. It just felt weird,
Leaving everyone, yeah.
Right, leaving them and everybody. So we instead decided we'll do something local and we'll include Yenny and Leo. And that way we get to spend more time with them. So, I don't know. It was also different. I guess because we're further along in this pregnancy during the summer months. that, we're at a point now where I can't fly, like in third trimester, you're not really supposed to fly. Actually, I've seen airlines. I saw it on, I think it was Instagram. One airline was not letting a lady travel because her belly looked further along than she was. And so she was waiting on her OB clinic to send her proof that she was still within that time frame that she could fly.
She was at the airport waiting for the OB to confirm that she was
in line. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't really know what happened with that. Can't update, but I'm sure people saw it. I mean, she was at this point she was like laughing about it, so I'm sure things went well for her.
Yeah.
But we're further along. We just didn't even plan it. And right. I do think like the baby moon with Jasmine was really special. And I think because she was our first. Do I suggest it? Absolutely 100% to new parents. Do I suggest it once you have a baby already? I would say yes. If you are able to leave your baby.
Yeah. It depends on your support system and how you and your partner feel.
Yeah.
Leaving the first one behind. And for how long, right? Because baby moon could be like, I don't know, 24 hours or 48 hours, depending on where you're going. Or it could be for a whole week, which that's pretty much what we did. It was like nearly a week. Yeah. So.
Which this time it would have been the same, right? And I'm just like, I don't know that I can leave Jasmine that many days.
Right.
She's super attached to you more than anyone. But, also as her mom, I don't know. We'll see.
We will do a children's moon when when baby boy is here. All of us will just go and take a trip. Yeah, technically speaking, when he's under 2, he doesn't have to pay for a flight. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to get to also show him the world like we did for Jasmine. Hopefully we have the means and opportunity to do that for him as well.
So some ways that this pregnancy is different. I think we've mentioned it already. Like with Jasmine, we were doing like weekly photos with the fruit. I was doing the weekly bump photos. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Honestly, like it's the time. It's like the energy. Like we are just busy as parents. And it's not that we're not excited for this pregnancy like we were with Jasmine. Because all the same emotions are there. It's just different in the sense that we have so much going on all the time. Like, it was summer break, but we were still very busy. I mean, you don't get a summer break. You're still working and you're involved with a lot of different, activities in our community. And so therefore it's hard. It's hard to keep up with it. I do still check, like Flow and What to Expect are the 2 apps that I check weekly to get like my bump updates. I still do those. You're included in them, so you're able to see the same thing every week. I'm like, oh hey, this week we hit 22 weeks, etc. And I kind of remind you, and then we just say, we're grateful to God that we made it this far, and we pray for the baby, especially at night. Tijani will say a prayer with the baby, and sometimes the baby will start moving when he does it. It's really cute. I think I'm sure he recognizes your voice at this point.
I hope so. Must start rapping for him real quick with the brown bear, what do you see?
Oh, he's moving right now. He's like, I hear you. Another thing that we haven't really been doing, and this is more into Johnny's part, like with Jasmine's pregnancy, he was serving me every week. So every week he'd ask me at the beginning of the week, how can I serve you this week? What can I do? And sometimes I would be like, oh, get me, I don't know, I'm craving whatever I was craving. Apple pie, chocolate ice cream, whatever I was craving. Or sometimes it would be like, hey, can you just do the laundry, or can you help me clean this thing? And that would, help a lot. With this pregnancy, you started asking me, I didn't follow through or give you anything, and then you forgot to ask, and then it just hasn't happened. It hasn't happened. I think last time I was like, can you give me some cheese sticks from Sonic with marinara sauce? I'm still waiting, guys, and this was probably like 3 or 4 weeks ago.
It
So
was last week, babe.
no, it wasn't. I think it was like 3 weeks ago.
Okay, you know what? I let me make a promise right on the air right now on this episode. From here on, we have a little less than 10 weeks to go. I'm gonna make a promise to you and to the baby. From here on, I'm gonna serve you till the baby is here. So whatever you need, as long as it's not too much money, I'll try to make it happen. Or if it's a chore or a task at the house, even better, because my fund money is very slight. So, but I'm gonna be intentional about it. That's on me. There's not. I know you mentioned we're super busy these days, which is true. We have a lot of things going on, a lot of engagements that we have, and but that's not an excuse for me to be a better person and serve you. So I'll continue to do that for the rest of the time that we have with this pregnancy by the grace of God.
Okay. So some other ways that I do feel like you've supported though is just taking care of like the household. Like if I tell you like, will you help me do this? You do. I don't think that's part of like serving, it's just like if I communicate. Like for example, our washer is really hard for me to reach unless I'm on like a step ladder. Because
Right.
I don't know why when we were buying them at the store, they weren't this tall. But then all of a sudden I get home and I can't reach like the socks that go all the way at the bottom. Or all the baby clothes that are at the bottom. So, sometimes I'll just be like, hey, can you come help me with this? Because I can't reach it. And I don't want to go on the step ladder because I'm too lazy / I don't want to risk being, I don't know, a foot off of the air.
Right. Right.
So you kind of help with that. Other ways you help is like if I drop something, you'll be like, don't bend down, I'll get it. And then with Jasmine, like even giving her a bath, the room between the bathtub and the toilet is kind of tight in our upstairs bathroom where Jasmine sleeps, and that's the closest bathroom to her room. And my belly doesn't fit there.
Not anymore.
It doesn't. It's too big. And then the bending down too, like it's uncomfortable. So unless I'm washing her hair, which I already taught to Johnny exactly what he needs to do to wash her hair, because I know, it's harder for me now. And then postpartum, like I'm not going to be doing that. Tijani can help. My mom will help. Jasmine won't bathe.
Yeah.
If she doesn't need it, she's not gonna take a bath. She'll
Right.
get a baby wipe, and she'll be fine. But you do help in those ways. So
Thank you very much.
I think it's just like about communicating. That's the
Yes.
biggest thing.
Right.
There's difficulties. Like some days, the exhaustion is there, and I'm just tired. And I'll just tell you, okay, it's time for my nap, and off I go to sleep. And you'll keep the monitor, and then if Jasmine wakes up, you'll, bring her down, and you and Jasmine will wake me up together.
Yeah, I mean, the communication piece is something that we've talked about so many times, and our communication continues to get better from dating life all the way to now. Because before, you would just assume that, I've given this example before where Yasmin would think that the house is dirty and messy, and she would want to clean the entire house. But I would look at the house and be like, this looks pretty decent to me. It could wait for another couple days. So the interpretation of things are different from how you interpret things to how I interpret things. So what I'm trying to say is that when you're expressing what you need me to do, I'll do it. But if you don't tell me what you need help with, it's hard for me to imagine, okay, this is what you need. It's hard for me to say, okay, I need to help this type of way. But now that you've been able to express to me exactly the type of help that you need, I'm more able to help you and make things move ahead for the family. And so I really appreciate you, with the communication from dating days to 5 years of marriage.
It evolves as
That's the whole
the
point.
relationship
That's the whole point.
grows and
You've got to grow. Yep, you've got to
you
grow.
hit different seasons of life.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's very important. You have to evolve, because you can't stay steady. You can't be in the same place. Just like you grow out of your friendships. You have to grow together with your partner, with your husband, wife, fiance, whatever the situation is. You have to grow and evolve as people, as persons. That's how you sustain the long relationship.
The last, I guess the biggest way we've been preparing for the baby at this point is just like buying items for the baby. We haven't really, at least in second trimester, we did not spend any time setting up anything for the baby. It was just like buying like a couple things that we needed. You know, very few, but we did buy like a double stroller.
Mm-hmm.
We bought some diapers. We took advantage of like Costco's diaper summer sale,
Mm-hmm.
and went in and bought like 6 boxes.
Yep.
What else did we buy? I'm like blanking out. But we've gotten like little things. Like we
Yep.
needed like a new mattress cover for the baby. We needed a new sound machine.
Mm-hmm.
That type of stuff.
I feel like when you talk about diapers, the next thing should be wipes. Diapers and wipes come together. So we got a couple boxes of wipes as well.
Yeah, but that was in the third trimester, not in the second trimester.
Oh, okay.
Second
True.
trimester stopped like the week that we were coming from Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, okay. The buying things also had to be very
in
specific.
This trimester. Yes.
Okay.
Just
my bad.
Up until second trimester.
My bad. Okay, I didn't know that.
We've done more since, but you'll get to hear about that in the third trimester update.
Yep. These are things you should expect when you and your partner become pregnant. You just have to know some of these feelings that Yasmin was expressing or sharing with you. You just have to understand some of the things that you have to purchase to be ready for the new member of the family. That's the reason why we're here sharing this experience.
Yeah. And I would say with third trimester, now that we're going through it, we'll definitely do an update. But, overall, it's like the last couple weeks, last few weeks. And, I'm back at work. Now we're like trying to, balance me leaving at some point, whether that be, September, October, we'll see. Preparing for that, and then preparing like our house for the baby once the baby arrives, preparing all the things. So you get to look forward to that.
Yeah, what Yasmin is saying is, she didn't really say this, but what she meant is that the third trimester recording, she doesn't know when that's gonna come out, because depending on if the baby comes on time or the baby comes early, that determines when we can come to the studio and record the third trimester update, because that third trimester update, that's when the baby arrives. And so we are going to be occupied like
We're
pies.
Definitely nesting. We are
Right.
in nesting mode. We're taking advantage of, trying to get everything ready for when the baby's here.
Oh, yeah. Any final words for the expecting or the seasoned parents to be expecting in the second trimester?
I would say enjoy the second trimester. It's supposed to be the honeymoon trimester. Don't be upset if it ends up not being glowy and pretty and unicorns and rainbows for you, because that's normal too.
Mm-hmm.
I think for some women it is, and it can be, because I experienced that with Jasmine. But this time around, I don't feel the same way. So, you get a little bit of both. It's I think whatever you're going through, it's valid. Your emotions, your feelings about it. You're the one that's pregnant. Just like, let yourself feel those emotions. And if you're feeling great, I'm so happy for you. I hope you are. And if you're not, that's okay. Hopefully it gets better. And soon you'll have a baby. I think we can all look forward to, when the baby's just here, healthy and happy.
Thanks for tuning into How We're Doing It. We appreciate you taking the time to listen to our stories and experiences. If you find this episode helpful, please subscribe and leave us a review. To stay connected, visit howwe'redoingit.com for more details and follow us on social media. Until next time, keep thriving and stay inspired.
Mama. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.